Hi Gemini, welcome to your love reading for September 2019. This is Elizabeth from channeledguidance.com. I've already shuffled the deck, so let's go ahead and begin. This is a love reading for the sign of Gemini for September 2019. We're starting off with the moon. Love reading for the sign of Gemini for September. King of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Gemini for September. Six of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Gemini for September. Nine of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Gemini for September. Three of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Gemini for September. Ace of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Gemini for September. You have the Queen of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Gemini for September. You have the Chariot. And you have the Princess of Swords. Okay, what's the most important thing that Gemini needs to hear about their love life for September 2019? The message that you have, Gemini, is the Hangman. So for some of you in the month of September, you might feel like you're stuck. You might feel like your relationship or your love life is not moving forward. This is about just feeling like you're just in limbo, maybe because you don't have answers. I see you have the Moon and the Page of Swords, which means that you actually could be receiving those answers that you've been waiting for. So let's go ahead and begin. Also, if you'd like to get a private reading with me, Gemini, just go to my website, channeledguidance.com. I'll put a link down below. Okay, so let's see what you have going on here. You have the Moon, the King of Swords, and the Six of Wands. So for many of you, you are the King of Swords because you're an air sign. If you have a partner or an ex who's either also a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius, this could represent them. But you're starting with the Moon, which means this could definitely mean deceit. For some of you, this can be deceit. It can be someone is in denial. The Moon usually represents things that are hidden from you. So you kind of have that energy in this reading with not just the Moon, but the Princess of Swords, which represents the truth perhaps coming out, something that you didn't know about a partner. But the Moon can also, again, it can represent fears, uncertainty, things that are hidden from you, perhaps coming to light. I feel like, if there have been lies as far as a partner or relationship, I feel like you will be finding out about this in the month of September. You have the Six of Wands, which represents victory. This is a victory for you. Your energy is right next to this. Again, if there has been someone who has been holding back from you out of fear, maybe holding back from a relationship or further commitment, you have victory. Or if there have been lies that have been told to you, things that have been kept from you, again, you have this energy of victory. I feel like you will be finding out whatever it is that these people have been hiding from you. Now, in the second row, you have the Nine of Cups, the Three of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups. So the Nine of Cups is telling you that in the month of September, your wishes could be granted. Perhaps, as far as finding a new relationship or maybe being with someone specific that you really want to be with. This is you being immensely happy. You also have the Ace of Cups over here, which again, this could represent a new person coming into your life if you're single. It can also just be a new beginning for you with the person that you love, the person that you want to be with. You have the Three of Pentacles here, which does mean that there has to be a lot of effort. This is teamwork between you and the person that you love. So, this definitely ties in with what I've said over here. It does seem like for some of you, the Moon can either represent, perhaps lies that someone has been telling you. Perhaps they've been maybe getting cold feet about being in a relationship or getting married or being further involved with you. The Moon can represent fear. But again, with the Three of Pentacles, this means that you have to really work together. Your relationship is not hopeless. It just means the Three of Pentacles says that you both have to try really hard to make this happen. Again, with the Victory card here, you're being told that you can have this new beginning with the person that you love. For some of you, this can be a water sign. You have the Queen of Cups, which would be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. So it can be a water sign. Perhaps this is maybe someone who has not been telling you the truth. With the Princess of Swords, which is the Page of Swords, there could be someone maybe letting you know how they feel about you. You could be hearing the truth as far as someone having feelings for you. Or again, it could be that someone has been holding back from you with the Moon. Someone has not been completely honest. For some of you, it could be they have not been completely honest about their feelings. But it could also just be something they had been holding back from you. Perhaps, it could be another relationship or maybe how they really feel. Now, in between the Queen of Cups and the Princess of Swords, you have the Chariot, which is victory. So you have the major arcana victory and then the minor arcana victory here. So the Chariot does represent success. No matter what you have going on in your love life, this means that you will continue to move forward. The Chariot can also represent the sign of Cancer, which ironically you have the Queen of Cups, which could also be a Cancer. So for some of you, a water sign is important. But the Chariot is just telling you, if you hang in there, if you keep trying and be persistent, you can have this new relationship, this new energy here from the Ace of Cups. Okay, so let's see what else comes up for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Gemini for September 2019? You have the Nine of Pentacles. What other messages are there for the sign of Gemini for September? You have the Devil. What other messages are there for the sign of Gemini for September? And the Lovers. So the Lovers can definitely be you because it represents the sign of Gemini. But to me, the Lovers, it just represents a relationship that you want very much. And for some of you, not for everyone, but it could be a relationship that maybe people are telling you this person is no good for you. Because you have the Devil here, which, I mean, you could be dealing with a Capricorn. But it could be a relationship where maybe there's been a lot of difficult things that have happened. I mean, the Devil can definitely tie in with the Moon. Maybe it's a relationship that maybe some of, maybe your friends and family view as destructive or, kind of a negative, toxic relationship. Perhaps there have been lies. This just represents darkness. It can also, represent, perhaps negativity coming from lies being told to you. The Nine of Pentacles is telling you that maybe you have a decision to make in the month of September. This would be you doing what's best for you. This is about self-respect and putting yourself first. I just see the relationship that you want very much here for you in the month of September. It could be that you have the choice of taking this person back or staying in the relationship. But there's a lot of difficult energy here. It could be that, there's still a lot of fear, there's negative thinking. You have that message right in the center of the reading, the Three of Pentacles. There is literally a lot of work to do for both of you, not just you, not just them. This is about teamwork in order to have this new beginning from the Ace of Cups. Okay, so let's see what the confirmation deck wants to add to all of this. What other messages are there for the sign of Gemini for September? You have the Ace of Wands. What other messages are there for the sign of Gemini for September? The Two of Swords. What other messages are there for the sign of Gemini for September? And the Knight of Wands. What's the most important thing that Gemini needs to hear about their love life for September 2019? The Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups, this is pretty good. The Nine of Cups is your repeat card, Gemini. Here you go. Same card, different deck. So this is, wishes being granted, whether it's a new relationship or you're wishing to hear from someone or you're wishing for, you to be able to work out a relationship or a marriage. I see your wishes being granted here with the Nine of Cups being the repeat card. Now, you've also got a new beginning here with the Ace of Wands. This can definitely be a new relationship because you also have another ace here, the Ace of Cups. It can be a new relationship coming in for you. But the Ace of Wands, it just means a clean slate. This can definitely be in a relationship where you had been struggling. Perhaps, this relationship represented by the Devil. Because the Devil did come up with the Lovers. So you very much want this relationship. You want to be with this person, but there's something very difficult here. There's negative energy or you're just in a dark place in your relationship or your marriage. There is a clean slate here. Also, you have the Knight of Wands, which means that you really have to keep trying. The Knight of Wands is someone who refuses to back down, refuses to give up. You have to keep trying. So the Knight of Wands ties in with the Chariot. Don't back down. I also see you here being really torn over a decision with the Two of Swords. This is a really difficult, tricky, complicated decision. For some of you, it could just be whether you're going to continue to fight for this person. Whether you might be deciding, which ties in with the main energy from the first deck, the Hangman. You might be deciding, is this person worth waiting for? Is this person worth trying? Are they worth all this agonizing that I'm doing? This is a really difficult decision that the sign of Gemini has to make where you're kind of stuck. No one's moving forward until you make it. It can be you, but it can also represent the person that you love. Or maybe things are not moving forward. Maybe that's why you had the Hangman. Things are not moving forward. Maybe they have a decision they have to make. But I do see a new beginning here and a new beginning here. With the Knight of Wands saying that someone has to really be persistent and refuse to back down. I just feel because you have the Moon as the first card, that the month of September can be very emotional for the sign of Gemini, very confusing. To me, the moon means that there's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes that you're not aware of. So there can be a lot of things going on with the person that you love that you have no idea what they're thinking, you have no idea what they're feeling. There can definitely be things that you don't know that they're not telling you. With the Princess of Swords coming up here, this is the truth. It could be that the person that you love is revealing the truth, maybe about why there has been darkness, maybe why your relationship has been in a negative place, in a difficult place. But I do feel, you've got victory here, Six of Wands, and victory here with the Chariot. You can overcome. I feel like the sign of Gemini is going through a dark time in their love life. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the X spread using this deck right here. I've already shuffled it, and you did have a few jumping cards. So let me show you what those are. And as always with the X spread, it can be someone you had a long-term committed relationship with, but it can even just be someone that maybe you dated a few times and you want to know if you're going to hear from them again. The cards that jumped were these, and they jumped right away. 4 of Pentacles and 3 of Cups. So the 3 of Cups is telling you that there is still love between you and your ex. The 3 of Cups is happiness. This is good times, perhaps waiting to happen. But the 4 of Pentacles means they're holding back from you. They're trying to stay in their safe place. They're trying to protect themselves. Let's go ahead and put these back in here. And let's see what comes up for Gemini and their ex. Show me the energies around Gemini and their ex for September. We have the 9 of Pentacles, Gemini and their ex, September. The 2 of Wands, Gemini and their ex for September. The Empress, Gemini and their ex for September. 3 of Wands, Gemini and their ex for September. The High Priestess, Gemini and their ex for September. King of Swords, Gemini and their ex for September. Knight of Cups, Gemini and their ex for September. 2 of Pentacles, Gemini and their ex for September. And the 4 of Wands. Okay, so let's take a look here. One thing that I'm already seeing is that you've got the 2 and the 3 of Wands. So both of these cards represent waiting. So I feel like you've been waiting for a long time to hear back from your ex, or you're going to be waiting. I mean, you have the Empress here, which can represent the sign of Aries, but the Empress just represents the perfect relationship, the perfect partner, the ideal partner. And you've got it lined up here with your energy. As the King of Swords, you are the King of Swords, whether you're male or female. And this is all lined up with the 4 of Wands, which is actually a long-term committed relationship. This could even be a live-in relationship or a marriage. So, I mean, I feel like there's waiting. You're waiting maybe to hear from your ex in the month of September. It could be with this 3 of Wands that maybe they are waiting for the perfect timing to get back together with you. Because I do see some of that here in this reading. Let me just start at the top. You got the 9 of Pentacles. I mean, with this energy here, waiting, the sign of Gemini is waiting. Perhaps you're waiting for your ex to be in a good place, because the 9 of Pentacles is about someone kind of coming full circle as an individual, really having their life together, feeling successful, being successful. And there's an energy of waiting around this. And again, there can be a perfect relationship with this person when they get their life together here, when they are in a good place within themselves. And again, it could be maybe they're waiting for that perfect timing to come back to you. Your energy is right here as the King of Swords. You also have the High Priestess here, which does represent intuition, signs, synchronicities. It could be, again, that they're being guided by their intuition, which ironically, it's right next to you, with the King of Swords being here. You also have the Knight of Cups. So things are moving forward with your ex. This could even be a proposal to get back together, because you do have the Knight of Cups down here with the 4 of Wands, which is a long-term relationship, commitment, even marriage. It's just that there's indecision between both of these cards. The 2 of Pentacles. This is, things kind of being up in the air. And you did have the Hangman as the main energy from the first spread. So again, that reading is still for you, because it's still for the sign of Gemini. I feel like things with your ex are still very much up in the air. Nothing is settled. Maybe they need to make a decision, especially if there's someone else involved, if there is a third party. This is, perhaps even juggling. Maybe they're in a relationship they don't want to be in. Maybe that's why we had the Devil in the first spread. Maybe they're waiting for the perfect timing to get away from this person to be with you. Again, there is kind of a spiritual connection here. between Gemini and their ex, with the High Priestess being right next to you. Let me get a few more. What other messages are there for the sign of Gemini about their ex for September 2019? You have the Five of Cups, Gemini and their ex for September 2019. The Five of Swords and the King of Cups. So in the first spread, you had the Queen of Cups. So there is, a strong connection here to a water sign. So for those of you where you have an ex who is a water sign, this is definitely speaking to you. But this could also just be very emotional energy. Remember that you started with the Moon in the first spread. It could be that your ex is maybe in a very emotional place. The Five of Cups means that, there could be regrets as far as maybe ending your relationship. I feel like if your ex left you, let's just start there. If they left you, again, this card represents regrets. Like, why did I do that? They keep dwelling over what they did. There's a sense of sadness, tears, disappointment here. And then the Five of Swords, which represents a very unwise decision. I feel like if they made a very unwise decision, if they decided to leave you, they could be regretting that in the month of August. Especially for those of you where your ex is a water sign. A Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces. Male or female, Sun, Moon, or Rising. But also, they don't have to be a water sign. It could just be someone who's maybe very loving, very intuitive, very emotional. That is the sign of the King and the Queen of Cups. So they don't have to be a water sign. Also, the two fives right here. I feel for the sign of Gemini, there is an obstacle as far as you and your ex getting back together. And it can be another person. I feel like for some of you, maybe, they're trying to get away from maybe a negative relationship. I mean, if you're watching this because they left you for another person, I don't think that they're happy. This is not happiness here. This is someone who is in pain, heartbroken, someone that is regretting a decision that they made. It's just they're very indecisive. Everything's up in the air here with the Two of Pentacles. And they're waiting for that perfect timing maybe to come back to you. Maybe they're trying to figure out a way to get away from this person. I feel like they're still thinking of you and they're being guided by their intuition to come back to you. They're just waiting maybe for that perfect timing. Okay, let me get a few cards in the confirmation deck. Let me just give it a quick shuffle. What other messages are there for the sign of Gemini about their ex for September 2019? What other messages are there for the sign of Gemini about their ex September 2019? What other messages are there for the sign of Gemini about their ex for September 2019? Okay, so let's see what comes up for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Gemini about their ex for September? Got the Ten of Wands, messages for the sign of Gemini about their ex for September. The Hermit, messages for the sign of Gemini about their ex for September. And the Eight of Cups. So the Eight of Cups is someone who has left. So again, this could be if your ex left you, they could be really thinking about this. This is what I was telling you with the Five of Cups and the Five of Swords on the other side of the reading. The Hermit is someone who is doing a lot of thinking, a lot of soul searching. This can represent the sign of Virgo for some of you. But this is someone who's trying to figure out the truth. And remember in the first spread, I told you, I feel like there is kind of a theme here for Gemini this month with the truth. You had the Moon and the Page of Swords, the Princess of Swords, which means that there could be something about your ex that you don't know. Maybe they left for some other reason that you're not aware of. Or there could be something going on in their life that right now you have no idea, with that Moon being the first card in the first spread, if you go back and watch. So I see a lot of thinking here with the Hermit. They're soul searching maybe about why they left with the Eight of Cups. This is the goodbye card. This is the person that left the relationship. If you left your ex, it could be that maybe you're having regrets. It's a general reading, so I try to cover kind of all the possible scenarios. I feel like if you left the relationship for whatever reason, it could be that in September, you're going to be doing a lot of thinking and soul searching about your ex. There is some heaviness here. You've got the Ten of Wands. There is a burden. Maybe there is something that you still have to work out. I think in the first reading, the first spread that I did for you, you had the Three of Pentacles. I'm pretty sure you had the Three of Pentacles. I think it was right in the center of the reading. Yeah, here it is. There could be something that you have to work out with your ex. The Ten of Wands does mean that it's kind of an uphill battle. There's a lot of heaviness here. That could be why you had the Devil in the first spread as well. Maybe, you know, there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of baggage that you have to work out with your ex. But I just kind of get this feeling from this spread that there are regrets. And if it's not you, if you're watching this because you want your ex back, then I feel that they're the one right here, Five of Cups, Five of Swords. They're the ones who are having regrets. Maybe they made a bad decision. It's just that everything's kind of up in the air here. They need to make a decision, which makes me feel that for some of you, there could be someone else involved. Perhaps maybe that's why they left or they met somebody else. What I see here is waiting. 2 and 3 of Wands. You're waiting, or they're waiting for the perfect timing to come back to you, to communicate with you. Again, you are here, the King of Swords, right next to the High Priestess. Their intuition is speaking to them, perhaps letting them know when is the perfect timing to have this movement here from the Knight of Cups. This movement would be them coming back into your life. A proposal to get back together, a proposal to talk. Again, I do see a committed relationship here. It's all just a matter of waiting for that perfect timing. 2 and 3 of Wands. Okay, Gemini, this has been your love reading for September 2019. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you again next month.